We are back with another green game review. It's your boy, the composer K Hood. Sorry it's been so long, but we're going to get into another review for games that you can roll up to. Now, this time we have Resident Evil 4. This one dropped, and it's definitely a banger, but is it good to smoke to? We're about to find out. Now, you see, it's a pretty linear game. I hate labyrinth styles games. I get lost really easily. And so I stay away from playing other Resident Evil games until I found out this one was a little bit more linear than others. The learning curve is low, but it takes a good hour or so to get used to it, which might turn some people off. See, the controls are easy and intuitive, but they're purposely wonky and kind of clunky. As you can see, the enemies kind of sway from side to side, and as you can upgrade your weapons, like in most Capcom games, it has a very cool upgrade system. It still is kind of hard to shoot people, and that's part of the fun in the game, but it might frustrate you a little bit if you're smoking. As I stated before, I primarily grew up playing sports games, so Resident Evil is new to me, and I honestly see the hype. If you do decide to get this game, I'd highly suggest watching YouTube videos that explains things that aren't explained in the game, because there's a lot of mechanics that they don't point out but are extremely intuitive. Like, you need to know how to parry to save bullets. You need to know how to melee to knock out multiple enemies. This is a survivor horror game. Just like The Last of Us, you're low on resources, so you have to think about how you use your weapons. For instance, you can craft weapons, but it's good to hold on to what you can craft and what type of ammo you're going to craft until you figure out what type of enemies you're going to be facing, since there isn't much there. For this review, I'm going to rely mostly on the gameplay and less off of my word of mouth, because you can pretty much decide through this review if this is a game that you're going to like or not. Now, I'm going to add another rating to this. I'm going to add a horror rating, an overall rating, and a tree rating, so you can decide if this game is for you. Now, horror game, this is straight 5 out of 5. Instead of jump scares, this game relies on swarming you with enemies and leaving you to navigate the space you have. Sometimes full levels, sometimes claustrophobic areas. It's a little bit different than other games, but it is fun in its own way. Overall, this game's almost perfect. Even though the controllers are purposely wonky, it can deter some people. I think it's endearing to people that played the first game, but if this is your first foray into this game, it might throw you off until you get into the kick of things. I bought it because I had some Xbox credits to use, and at first I wasn't really getting into it. I didn't have anything else to play, so I started to get into it, and after 2 hours into this game, I couldn't put it down. I was looking forward to the next time I get to play it. Since it is a little bit difficult, once you get to the end of the chapter, you kind of just want to put it down for a little bit, but you always wind up coming back. That's another thing I want to mention. The chapters are like nice and short and sweet. Once you get to the end of the chapter, you're not going to necessarily want to read more. You're probably going to want to take a drink of water and come back to the game in like a couple hours. Now, as far as the tree ranking, I would put it at a 3. It's going to be fun for some, but not for all, based off of the things that I described earlier. If you don't like horror, this isn't for you. If you don't like claustrophobic fights, this probably isn't for you. As I said, it takes some time to get into, but it has great intuitive controls. They're not difficult. They're just a little wonky on purpose, and it's pretty endearing to the game, but it might not be for you. Another thing is this game does have puzzles, even though they're not tough. So if you don't like puzzles, this may not be for you. This game has a great story. The visuals are pretty good. The audio is excellent because it is claustrophobic and you are going to be running around and enemies are going to be coming left and right. It is awesome in surround sound. It gives me the chills in a good way. The gameplay is excellent as I described. And lastly, the value for money is excellent. This is one of those games that you're going to want to replay. Since resources are scarce, there's a million weapons on top of resources being scarce. So once you level up your weapons, you're definitely going to want to play this game on the Game Plus mode and go back through it and go back through some of the little caveats that you might have missed. This is a concise review, but it should let you know if you want this game. This is a follow-up to Resident Evil 2 if you want to try that first, but that is more of a Labyrinth style get lost type of game. You don't have to play these games in order, so you could just jump straight into this and have a good time. This is K Hood for Green Game Reviews. Next time we'll be back with the DLC for Horizon Burning Shores. I will see y'all soon.